Alright, hello everyone, Mishka here, and today I would like to address the question of why I play dead games on stream, and not the more popular mainstream games like Fortnite, Pubg, etc. Like, you guys know them yourselves, there's no reason for me to list off like endless amounts of games I could be playing that would probably, to be honest, help my stream grow to a much larger audience in a shorter space of time. But for those of you who watch my stream, you know that, or who've been watching my stream recently, you would have noticed trends in StarCraft, WoW, and all these other games that aren't necessarily fun for an audience to watch, especially if you don't understand what's going on. I'll notice it myself when I'm streaming games like Counter Strike or Overwatch, games that people know actively. We'll have people jumping in, we'll have people like giving tips. I was playing Factorio earlier, and we had a lot of people. We had one or two people popping in rather who were, actively trying to speak about the game and ask questions and were showing a genuine interest in it. However, with games like WoW and StarCraft, because they're so like established and so I want to almost say niche to the degree that if you don't know what's going on in WoW, you won't know what to expect and what's going on the screen. It's very difficult to get into from a new player's point of view, which is a very fair complaint and a very fair point that Stream has brought up once or twice. So the answer to that question is kind of difficult to answer, but it's no, it's a very simple answer. It's just kind of awkward to explain, I want to say. And the reason is I've been playing WoW since about August of 2010, so late Wrath of the Lich King for anyone who's played WoW. It's been roughly that era. And I properly got into WoW the 7th of December when Kata came out. I remember staying up late. I remember going to GameStop. It was not midnight release, but we managed to get the game before midnight, right? Because GameStop wasn't doing a midnight release for it, so we managed to talk to the guy. We talked him into giving us the collector's edition, which we had bought. By us, I mean me and my uncle. And from that day forth, I had my account, he had his account. We just kind of played. I guess the root of the issue is the fact that I have so much memories attached to this game. Like, I've been playing WoW on and off since Cataclysm, to be fairest, would be the best way of putting it. Because I didn't play that much on Wrath. I was just trying to learn what the game is and explore the world and whatnot. And I had a hunter who I don't really even have anymore, to be honest. And so for me, as someone who's been playing since 2010, it's a it's been a journey, really. It's been a very interesting journey. I've gotten an attachment to my feral druid, which is my main. For anyone who watches my stream, you see me play that all the time, and it's been a very long journey of me playing this game on and off, and meeting all these people, meeting the communities, having the friends that I have now, having the online family, I guess I want to call it, this like sense of belonging, this community, this clan that I'm in right now. It all comes back to me playing World of Warcraft. It comes back to me just picking up this game as a child and putting more time into it than I probably should have, and building this kind of very one-sided bond with my character. As weird as that sounds, and to someone who doesn't play MMOs actively, that will sound odd. But to put it into context, it's a situation where I've had the same character for 6 to 8 years, because I didn't make a feral druid as my first character, but 6 to 8 years I've had this character for, and it's been a situation where I would go away from WoW and I'd take breaks occasionally and I'd play other games like PUBG or CS or StarCraft, or it doesn't matter what. And eventually I'd find this longing again to be part of this big open world, this massive community. And WoW's the game that kept pulling me back. Like every time I felt a void or null throughout my life, or like just any sort of loneliness or just boredom in general, it doesn't matter what it is, I'd always feel a home, I want to say, because I do feel like I've built a home in WoW. I feel like there's a lot of people I could always talk to. I feel like my friends list is always active because of that game. And I feel like most of my friends come simply because we all play the same game. It's how we connected, it's what made us connect in the first place. And so that is one of the main reasons that you'll see me playing so much WoW. And even though the game is quote unquote a dead game and very, very difficult to get an audience for, it's the main reason I keep coming back all the time. And I know I'm not the only one who has that issue. It's gripping. It really is, because the situation you find yourself in after a while, especially like me, I've been playing this game for 8 years almost, actually a bit more at this stage, and what you see is you even when you feel like quitting the game, or you think you're quitting, or you're taking a long break from it, eventually you'll feel like, well, I've invested so much time into this character, these characters, it doesn't matter, and I've put so much money into it already that it becomes difficult to quit. And I'm saying it as if it's addiction. And to some people it is, and that's unfortunate and something they gotta realize themselves. But then the other culprit I want to talk about is StarCraft. Now, StarCraft 2, I started playing in about halfway through Heart of the Swarm, so 2014 is when I first really sunk my teeth into this game. And for those of you who follow my channel and who know of me, you know I'm a lover of all things strategy. And StarCraft 2 is what I think rightly the rightful queen of strategy games. Right? I don't think there's a better real-time strategy game out there right now. I don't think there's anything that can compete with StarCraft. And I think the community now has become a very, very niche minority group. And that's not Blizzard's fault. That's not, StarCraft's fault for not pulling enough people in. I think it's a evolution of the players. I think players have moved on to something different, something that suits them more. People that prefer the macro aspect have moved on to different games. I want to say something like XCOM, where the meta decisions changed your playthrough much more than a single game. We see this in the Legacy of the Void campaign to a small degree, and the people who like the small, intense micro battles moved on to games like League of Legends, Dota, and Battle Royale. And so what we've left is these players that have a very strong dedication and passion for real-time strategy games, who want their game to be successful and who want to succeed. And because they've put so much time into this game, because they've put the time into learn, because StarCraft can be a very taxing game. It's not an easy game to sink your teeth into. It's not very forgiving at the start. There's a lot of strategies that will frustrate new players, for those that are looking to dabble online at least. And there's a lot of ways you can go wrong in StarCraft, especially in the multiplayer scene. And I think that in itself is a massive deterrence, because people hear all these stereotypes of, oh, StarCraft players, you need to have super high APM, or oh, it's such a difficult game to get into, when in reality the base concepts are very simple, and there's lots of brilliant guides out there on YouTube to like see how to get started. But in itself, I can understand why the game intimidates others. But what you've left is you've this small community that is really, really passionate and that loves this game to the core and understands what it is and wants it to grow, that they will help you. Not everyone, granted, not everyone at all, but a player doesn't need to be, top 100, top 1000, whatever, to give you advice. And very often especially in the start, when I just started playing StarCraft, you'd notice that people are willing to help, and you notice that people talk to you, and that most of the community is really, really, really friendly. There's a very small amount compared to other communities, compared to like the CS community, the MOBA community. There's very little amounts of like pure hate and salt towards one another. And in essence, it's usually because it's a 1v1 game, right? There's no team to blame, there's no one else to harass but you and your opponent. And in StarCraft, there's no pay to win, right? So if you lose because your opponent simply outplayed you. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter like why you lost or what he did. It is, at the end of the day, you got outplayed either because you didn't scout, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, and it comes back to you. And a lot of people can't handle that kind of stress. A lot of people break because they understand that there's no one else to blame but themselves for making a mistake, and that again pushes a lot of players away. But the people that stick around find themselves in this position where they've a game that no one else really plays, the only game of the genre, and all the players who like RTS and who like this sort of style of play get funneled into StarCraft, where again I can't get over it. The player base is so dedicated, so like kind for the most part, and to me that's been a massive enjoyment, and why I've stayed around in StarCraft for such a long time. It's not only because I feel rewarded for winning, and it's not only because I can see myself progressing and I can see my rank going up and I see myself climbing these leagues, and I feel the accomplishment of finally getting from platinum to diamond, which is where I'm at now. It's a journey, And if you're someone who wants to see results, who doesn't want to be held back by a team like myself, I struggle in team games because of that reason. A game like StarCraft for me was perfect. And it's a game that I think is going to be something similar to what Age of Empires 2 is now, where even though the game is decades old, it still has an active player base, it still has an esports scene. Granted, it's not big and not many people know about it, but the game itself is timeless. Why? Because the gameplay is great. Now, I believe that Blizzard isn't going to fail StarCraft anytime soon because they're still adding patches, they're still adding things to it, they're still working on it. But at the end of the day, when it comes to my stream, it'll be a situation of I want to do the things that I enjoy. Blizzard games have given me a lot of entertainment. They've given me a quote unquote family outside the one I have IRL, right? Most of my friends that you'll hear me play with on stream, that you might see in my videos, all that, they've all come from the same background. They've all come from WoW. They've all come from the StarCraft community, and it's led the way for me to meet all these great people and to have all these laughs and these bants and whatever else you want to say. So when I'm on stream, you might see me doing the unpopular thing of playing games that probably won't help grow my channel, to be honest. But you'll see me having a lot more fun as a result. I could play Fortnite, I could play PUBG, I could play all these other games, but overall, to be honest, they give me a lot less joy and enjoyment than the classics. And I don't want to call them that, but to me, that's what they are. Because I was 8 years old when I picked up WoW, so it doesn't get much younger than that. I mean, sure, I was playing games since I was 5, but WoW was my real introduction into the PC world. And unless Blizzard do something that I completely don't agree with, or change the game for what I think is unplayable, I'll probably be playing that for a lot longer as well. And you'll probably see that on stream for those of you who follow me. Anyways, that's me done for now. Mishka out. I'll see you all soon.